Pereira. Very good morning to all our viewers who are joining us live on this broadcast here at Moneycontrol. You're watching Opening Bell with me, Stacy Pereira. Now, despite that range-bound trading session that we saw yesterday, Nifty 50 moved closer to that 25,200 levels. It was, remember, the monthly derivatives contract expiry yesterday, but we still managed to end at that fresh all-time high. So intraday we saw the Nifty touching even that 25,192 levels, but finally starting shop at around that 25,152. So now our target is pretty much placed at that 25,250 levels, we could say, at least perhaps in today's session, or maybe in this new September series that is kicking off. If you look at the Bank Nifty, that too remained in consolidative mode. It is still underperforming compared to the Nifty 50, we would say, but this could be a new series, so something new to be looking forward to. Of course, also sugar stocks that will be in focus, and SpiceJet. Pardon my alliterations there, but it's quite a solid super September series that we're starting, we could say that. Well, all of that is what we'll discuss and more, but first, let me take you through all the top headlines. Now, stocks closed pretty mixed on Wall Street. The Dow hit a fresh record high, while the Nasdaq corrected as there was a fall in Nvidia share. Now, the US jobless claims too fell for the weekly basis, while the second quarter GDP figure gets revised higher, claiming on recession fears, pretty much calming them down now. And stocks in the Asia-Pacific region are trading largely higher this morning. We can say the US economic data has calmed those fears of a recession, whereas the GIFT Nifty 2 is suggesting a good positive start for the Indian equity market. Crude prices too have gained. Brent crude rises to nearly $80 a barrel once again as the output disruptions from Libya continue. Gold prices, on the other hand, have been rallying, fueled by the expectations of a rate cut by the Federal Reserve by September. And can India's GDP grow at about 6.8% in the first quarter of FY25? Now, most estimates are suggesting that this could be the number. We could be pegging it at 6.8 compared to the 8.2% that we saw almost a year ago. But the strong growth is expected from industries as well as agriculture, while services growth is likely to soften. That's where we saw it. Markets posted that record close for the third straight session. Nifty extending those gains for the 11th straight day, longest since 2007. So that's like a good 17 years long that we've seen a 11-day kind of a stretch or a rally, but pretty much putting the markets there on those higher highs. Sensex too hitting an intraday high of about 82,286. The Nifty 25,193. So that's the numbers that we're going to be looking forward to of what we see on the benchmarks. But if you look at the broader side of the markets, the mid caps continued to be underperformers in yesterday's session at least, and that pretty much taking the market breath in favor of the decline. So the advanced decline ratio more in favor of the declines still at this moment. Now, it was a Reliance, of course. It was the big 47th AGM that happened yesterday, and we saw the stock rise by about 2% on that healthy commentary that came in from most of the leadership there, as well as the announcement of that bonus issue plan, which has pretty much kept that stock on everyone's radar. September 5th is where you need to mark your calendars if you are a shareholder of an RIL stock. If you look at the option queues, that one also pretty much suggesting that the bulls have firmed their grip. With PCR has, or the put call ratio for the Nifty has jumped to about 1.28 versus the 1.21 levels. So we are seeing that strong fund flows as well coming in from the FIIs who are turning to be buyers now. Yesterday we saw FIIs buy net shares of close to 3,259 crore in the cash markets, whereas the DIIs also did that kind of buying. About 2,690 crores was what the DIIs went on to purchase from the equity markets. The India VIX index, that too has declined by about 1.16%. So we are around that 13.79 levels versus the 13.95 levels that we were previously. I beg your pardon for that. So how should you be riding this whole rally? Is it a good time to be looking at the markets right now, or could we expect further consolidation or perhaps even a correction? Now, many market veterans are suggesting that, at this kind of valuations, there could be a reason where one needs to really introspect into what kind of assets you're looking and buying. So, we'll get discussing what kind of strategy you should adopt. And joining me to do that is Raja Ventakraman. He is the co-founder of NeoTraders. Good morning, Raja. Always a pleasure to be speaking with you here at Moneycontrol. It is a new series that we are starting off on quite a high note. How should one be, really strategizing at this point? What are the levels one needs to track on the Nifty as well as the Bank Nifty that you would suggest to keep a close eye on, I feel?
Yeah. So, good morning, Stacy. Thank you for inviting me to the show. And as always, we are the word like you rightly use is introspection. So we have been introspecting, we have been speculating, but we are not doing the most important thing, which is participating. And that's what has been the bane of many of the people who are sitting, waiting by the sidelines and waiting for the correction. But every time when I'm on the show, I'm always saying that the dips are an opportunity to buy into. And if you will see the recovery after the sharp fall in the first week of August, we have seen that the slow and steady recovery has ensured that it has managed to overcome the gap regions, right? There were some significant gap regions on the higher time frames where it was proving to be a challenge. And that continues to be the scenario. At every point, there are some bits of resistance. That's the way the market levels are. But then when you consider that the global cues are now cooling off and we are having some positive vibes emerging and there are stock specific action which are in play. Though the indices are slowly stepping up, I would say that the key resistance zone was 25,000 and which was overcome and which has the resistance has now become support. So, and if you see over the last 1 week, the levels of 25,000 has acted as a very strong support now. And from there, we have got a good push. Yesterday, too, there was on the Nifty expiry, there was hesitation and there was actually some bit of reaction to the way down. But what happened towards the close of the day surprised everyone on the street. And now what we are seeing is a follow through. So overall momentum is on the positive side. I continue to believe that 25,000 support can now be revised to 25,000. 150 and we can hold on because that's where the option data is also indicating and we can continue to expect more upside. So on the upside, I would say 25,500 would be a level to watch out for the next 1 week. But in contrary, I expect Bank Nifty to play a much bigger role now because I find that the Bank Nifty have come into a very good set of supports. They have not moved for quite a bit of time and I feel that this month could be a show of Bank Nifty. Bank Nifty has been on the sidelines for quite a while. The momentum is now stepping up.
Raja,
so
just hold your thought there. Yeah, let me just address market open. And like you were saying, we are going to be focusing on the Bank Nifty and whether this month could be the turnaround for how that particular index really, reacts and whether that is the one that's going to push even the benchmarks higher. But there on your screens, a good sea of green, we could say, that we are starting the September series on. The Nifty 50 nicely there at that 25 250 levels, like what we said, the target, whether that was the target that we could expect for the day. We are starting on those levels, 0.3% of gains for the Nifty 50. The Sensex also good 500 points, so good 0.5% and more gains for the Sensex. 82,600 odd levels is where we are starting there. The mid cap also, even though that was an underperformer yesterday, we are seeing that particular index also see a good bit of gains, 0.5% gains coming in there for the Nifty mid cap index as well. You're seeing the same likes even in the small cap index currently. So that one also nicely propped up for you just at opening bell. Let's also look at the other sectoral indices that are really turning things around. Yesterday we did see a lot of pressure. Of course, it was expiry, and so you saw a different kind of stocks making it to those lists there. But Let's address today which are those stocks. We are seeing most of them, barring auto and the IT index right now. Most of the other sectoral indices are comfortably in the green. Auto, of course, we do see this kind of pressure that comes in, especially at the fag end of the month when you're seeing the new sales numbers that will be put out by these companies, by 31st and 1st. So auto is another pain point right now, and also the IT index, perhaps after that good rally that it saw, there is some profit taking. But there on your screens, the top gainers, the likes of a BPCL, there is positive brokerage notes on the likes of a BPCL among the oil and gas companies. You're also seeing the likes of a Coal India, Bajaj Finance also making it among your top gainers. Among the other ones that are on the list, like remember yesterday it was all about, at least at the fag end of trade, we did see a Reliance, and that stock react post its, all the announcements that came from the AGM. So that one taking 2% gains, and that being a heavyweight on the index is why you see the benchmarks also moving up. But L&T, Bajaj Finance, so you have both the Bajaj twins once again among your top gainers, the likes of an HDFC Bank, and how we were talking about, how when something like an HDFC Bank starts performing, that's when you're going to see even the banking index get that nudge and that push, and that perhaps also taking the other markets higher on overall basis. Let's look at the flip side also and see where the pain points are this morning. Like I said, autos are the ones that are seeing some bit of pressure. So you're seeing the likes of a Tata Motors there among your laggards in trade. Also TCS and Tech Mahindra. So IT stocks also seeing some bit of pressure. There is that important inflation data that we need to be watching out for from the US. That the Fed also pretty much takes cues from for how they're going to be planning on their rate cut progress from here on for the September series. So a little bit of profit taking that you're seeing among the IT companies. LTI Mindtree also there. Remember, LTI Mindtree has seen a rally in just the last week or so. It has got a couple of positive brokerage notes. Bajaj Auto, another one that you're seeing among the laggards, as well as Hindalco. So mix of auto and IT names among the laggards, but the gainers are a whole host of we say PSU companies, the likes of Coal India. You're also seeing HDFC now come on to perform. So good mix there that we are seeing. But let me go back to Raja and get his view on the likes of an HDFC Bank, because we were talking about banking when I had to cut you off, Raja. But now that we're seeing HDFC Bank among the gainers, you can perhaps tell us more on how one should be trading in this particular stocks and also banking in general.
Yeah, so like I was saying before we branched off, that the banking is definitely going to be a sector which one has to track in this particular series. And when you talk about HDFC Bank, it has already started the September series on a very strong note. And I believe that the stock is definitely poised for more upside from here. So one should consider the current levels. So the stop loss is also quite close at around 1630. So one could take a trade here in HDFC Bank. It can be an intraday trade for a targets of around 1680. If you want to do a multi-day trade, the targets are open till around 1720.
Right, so keep those targets there that Raja has pointed out for the likes of an HDFC Bank. Raja, let me also talk about Reliance, because yesterday we did highlight post the AGM, a whole host of brokerages have come out with their notes on how they are seeing what all the announcements that came off yesterday and how that is really going to prop up this stock. We saw the almost 2% gains there for the likes of a Reliance in yesterday's trade, but Nomura has a buy call. They've kept the target somewhere around 3,600 rupees per share. They say the focused growth, and especially in the fact that they've gone on to announce doubling growth in the next 5 to 7 years, is something that everyone, or pretty much the street, will give it a thumbs up for. They see robust growth across segments, driving the EBITDA CAGR to somewhere around 13%. Macquarie has a neutral call. Their target is about 2,750 per share. They're looking at the new energy announcements that has come from that business. Also AI, the whole merger and deal with Disney, and of course that big bonus share announcement that is going to keep the shareholders pretty much wanting to know more about Reliance, the potential earning capacity in the next 5 to 7 years, they say is similar to what the O2C business or their main core business had seen. So all of the verticals, that is right from retail as well as geo and all, are the ones that they are keeping their hopes pinned on. Jefferies too has a buy call, 3,500 is their target. They look at the retail segment to emerge to the tough patch that it was, delivering a double-digit revenue as well as EBITDA in the next 3 to 4 years, also doubling this being ahead of what they had estimated. So in the next 3 to 4 years, the retail market, of course, Reliance Retail having doubling its EBITDA as well as revenues, what they're going to look at. Now, CLSA too has a call, 3,300 is what they have pegged the target at. They do see that, the whole doubling of size in the next 6 years is something that they were not expecting. But of course, what they wanted to hear is perhaps the hint of an IPO for Geo or even the retail businesses, that not having come through. But of course, the other announcement that have come through, the AI or the new energy verticals, that is something that is quite a positive, and they look forward to how things go with Reliance or even the subsidiaries thereof. Another stock that will be in focus, interestingly, will be Prestige Estate. Now, this one particularly because it's also a story that Moneycontrol had broken right in some time in July, August, and now it is true that the company has confirmed that they are launching their QIP. They've planned to launch. They plan to raise somewhere around 5,000 crore rupees through this QIP. The indicative issue price is somewhere around 1,674 rupees per share, and they're looking to dilute somewhere around 7.45% in as equity. Now, they are going to utilize the QIP proceeds for repayment of their debts as well as borrowing, also acquisition of more land parcels. So you see that the whole real estate space and how that is, this being quite a positive. They are looking to buy more land, so there is more development, more launches that they will come out with, and also invest in their subsidiaries and joint ventures is what the QIP proceeds will be used for. Raja, your view on the realty pack, and which stocks look interesting among there. Of course, a Prestige Estate, there was a couple of queries also asking, how from the medium to long term, how should one be placed, especially post this QIP offer? How does it look?
Yeah, so when you're talking about Prestige Estates, the stock which is in news, the movement seems to be limited as of now. Yes, the realty definitely is attracting some attention, but then the movement, if you see over the last 3 months, has been quite slow. So one should not hurry into, because news flow and price action should go in sync. So I feel at the moment it's not a good time to enter Prestige Estate. I would wait for a levels of 1750 to be crossed, so that I'm more comfortable entering into the stock at the moment. It's not at a good price point right now for entry.
Right, so not at a good price point. Wait for the news flow to settle in. I hope that answers your question, Debuke, and that's how you could look at Prestige Estates. But let's also get going and answer a couple more queries that Raja can take up and help our viewers with. The next one, and since I spoke a whole host about Reliance and what brokerages are saying, maybe Raja can also give us a target that he is looking at for Reliance Industries.
Yeah, so Reliance yesterday has come out with some positive news, and I believe that's what helped the market sustain the lower levels and revive. Now, what one needs to see is that Reliance, after hitting some good set of supports at around 2,900, is trying to rev up. So it's a good point to enter Reliance with an upside target towards 3,200, which is its former highs. But one needs to ensure that one should not go all in. One can buy at current levels, use dip towards 3,000 levels as a entry opportunity, keeping a stop loss below 2,950.
Right. In fact, there's another query coming in from Mayank. He wants to know whether, they have announced this bonus issue, which they will take up in their meeting on September 5th. But how will that really affect the stock price? Will it half? What can we expect? And, like you mentioned, 3,000 is an entry level that one could look out for. Anything else that they need to be wondering with, after this bonus issue that could change for Reliance?
Yeah, this bonus issue will definitely impact the price, but then that's part of the overall price uh, calibration. But then what one needs to see is that what is the overall valuation of the stock and how the stock has been performing. So if you take a look from the entire year, right, it's 8 months down the line, and Reliance has not done anything really much. While we have expectations from Reliance, the stock has not really performed. So putting all your capital in Reliance would not be a prudent way. There are a lot of sectors that are performing. So my suggestion would be that if you want to encash and Reliance, if you want to hold, you should have a vision for 5 years. Otherwise, do not enter Reliance. That's the way I approach Reliance.
Right. Right. So look at it from a long-term perspective. That's when you perhaps see those gains or those returns as well on the likes of a Reliance. Now let's also talk about the whole telecom sector. Of course, yesterday we did hear a whole host from Reliance itself on what they plan for their geo vertical. But Bernstein has a note on the whole telecom sector. They in fact have an outperform call on the likes of a Bharti Airtel. They've raised the target to about 1,740 rupees per share versus the 1,600 that it was earlier. Telecom has seen a favorable market structure which has been led by the consolidation that has seen over the years, especially with the stronger players, that is Jio as well as Airtel, pretty much becoming a duopoly, we could say. The market share right now, Jio at about 45%, whereas Bharti Airtel about 37%. The revenue share is expecting the market to consolidate further, especially because VI has been seeing, or Vodafone has been seeing, that subscriber churn which remains quite high. So the likes of a Bharti Airtel, Raja, would you want to come in on this one? Bharti Airtel, right today I'm thinking it's seeing some bit of profit taking, but in fact another one of their subsidiaries, Bharti Hexacom, is actually seeing some good gains. In fact, got a positive or an initiate buy coverage as well. So between a Bharti Airtel and Bharti Hexacom, how are both of these, or rather what are the charts saying for both of these stocks?
See, the telecom space has definitely been very attractive, and over the last few months, the stocks have really shown some promise. Like, say, you can take Tatacom or Industar, Bharti. So, this sector will continue to attract attention, and it will definitely be well traded. And Bharti Hexacom, between Bharti Hexacom and Bharti Airtel, of course, being the parent company, the setup of Bharti Airtel looks much more promising. And if one would like to play this group, then Bharti Airtel is the preferred choice.
Right. Okay. Let me take a couple more queries. In fact, there's one coming from Srivardhan. He's a bit, not too happy that we haven't taken this query up before. So maybe Raja can help you out now. He wants to know whether it's time to be booking profits on Goldium International. He's, he wants to know whether right now would be a good time to be booking in profits on this one.
Yeah, it's a good query. The stock has done quite well over the last 3 months, and probably it could see some signs of exhaustion. So you can actually book here and wait for dip to the region of around 290 to buy into.
Okay, so wait and then you can book profits right now also, or look at 290 levels is what you're suggesting. Is that right, Raja?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, another one, Divyanshi wants to know your view on Varun Beverages, whether you should sell or hold at this point. So Varun Beverages is another stock, among the FMCG pack that has seen some good traction of late. How would one really look at Varun Beverages?
Yeah, Varun Beverage, it's witnessing a very sluggish movement, while the particular mid and small cap are seeing certain names that are doing quite well. So it would be prudent to exit this stock at the moment because the stock is not doing anything much. Or if you are willing to hold on, then your stop loss would be below 1430.
Okay, I think there are two queries coming in from the pharma pack. Manish Kumar wants to know on Lupin, and there's another query coming in from Siju. He wants to know your view on Cipla. Now, Lupin, in fact, let me also tell you there is a brokerage note, a positive brokerage note that has come out from Nomura on Lupin. They've raised their target price to about 2,427. They are looking at improvement in profitability. Then that is likely to attract the premium that it has compared to its peers. The US generic presence seems quite strong, at least from the near-term earnings perspective, as well as the company has gained traction in some of the complex injectables, is what Nomura is pointing out. They've gone on to revise the FY 25-26 EPS upwards by about 28% and 54%. So they're seeing a 54% upside by FY 26 for the earnings growth, at least for Lupin. Raja, what do you look at in terms of Lupin and Cipla? Where should one be looking at within the pharma pack, or you have any other calls within this basket that look more attractive?
Yeah, so in the pharma pack, I find that the likes of Lupin and Glenmark to be two counters that are managing to buck the trend, and they are moving on from strength to strength. So Lupin, which is a stock being discussed, is looking more promising than Cipla, and it has been going up steadily, but not very, it's not surging, it's moving up steadily. So it's a good stock to hold as a multi-day play. I can see a target emerging towards 2400 within the next 1 week to 10 days.
Okay, let's also address Bajaj Finance as well as Bajaj Finance. Both of those stocks also have been very interesting and have been among your gainers for some time. We did see a big correction that took place in Bajaj Finance some time back or earlier in August. Abhijit wants to know whether it's a good time, the current price is a good time to be buying Bajaj Finance, and what should be the target that he should be looking out for.
Yeah, Bajaj Finance, if since the beginning of this year, has been moving in a very wide range, a range of around 7,400 on the upside and 6,400 on the downside. So a 1,000 point range. So now what's happening is that the prices are reaching towards the upper end of the range. So if you were to enter into Bajaj Finance, your target zones on an immediate basis would be around 7,400. So if that target zone is comfortable, then you can go in with the Bajaj long in Bajaj Finance. Otherwise, it's an avoid from my side.
Right. Well, I think with that we're coming to an end with our query section. But Raja, do you have any stocks that are particularly looking interesting for you, especially from at least the whole September series, perhaps, or maybe to start off the series for today? Anything that you are keeping on your radar?
Yeah, I'm tracking persistent systems from the IT pack that seems to be holding out quite well. So one can look to buy it at current levels with a stop at 5050. And with the way the IT sector is performing, I think that it has got potential to move towards 5190 and 5225. And one can use it as an intraday play, one can use it as a multi-day play, but then the potential in the stock is very much to the upside. And the second stock which I would like, which I'm tracking and actively also participating is in Tata Motors. Tata Motors is a buy at current levels. You can buy at current levels, use a stop loss at 1090 for a target towards 1125 and 1145.
Right. So two stocks that are on Raja's radar is Tata Motors as well as Persistent Systems. Well, thank you so much, Raja, for giving us your time, speaking with us, helping our viewers with their queries, and also understanding how to be going ahead into this market. One shouldn't be sitting on the sidelines but go ahead and participate is what you started your initial commentary with, and I guess that is how the markets are also going to take those cues, or the participants will now actually get going there and start looking at the stocks that they find attractive in this kind of market. Thanks so much, Raja, for your time.
Thank you. Bye.
Well, also if you look at the markets right now, they are, we have hit those levels that we were hoping for, starting at that 25,250 levels, and you're seeing most of the heavyweights pretty much come back there. So good. We are more or less around those levels. We are right now at 25,245, so just about 5-10 points here and there, but we have the rest of the day trade to go on. You also have the the Sensex that has gained a good 300 points. So about 82,400 levels is where the Sensex is. The Bank Nifty also nicely propped up because we're seeing the likes of an HDFC Bank, which is seeing some good gains in today's session. So that one up by almost, you can say, close to 0.2% on just an HDFC Bank. So adding, or rather lending that support to the benchmarks. But if you look at the primary markets, that's going to be a buzz all through September as well. Well, today you're going to have the likes of a bazaar style retail. That IPO opens for subscription. Remember, this is a Rekha Rakesh Jhunjhunwala backed company, and it will be open for subscription from August 30th to September 3rd. So those are the days you can go and subscribe to this. Remember, the target price for this has been set at somewhere around 370 to 389 on the upper band per piece. So the allotments for this will be finalized by September 4th, and the shares are likely going to be listed by September 6th. We, in fact, will be getting the management speaking with us here at Moneycontrol at 12 o'clock. So do tune in to hear what the management plans to do with their IPO proceeds, as well as what is the future outlook that this, the company has for a post listing, and where they're really going to be placing their monies in. Bazaar style retail is the IPO that you can be looking forward to. A whole host of them also listing on the bourses today, from the SME segment, about 3-4 of them, as well as from the retail, from the main board. Well, you're going to see a couple of IPOs. So do track those if you're somebody who's interested in looking at the primary markets. But with that, it's a wrap from the entire team that puts this together. Thanks so much for watching, and also a wrap for my innings here on Moneycontrol. And it's been an absolute pleasure for me to bring you this news every morning. Let me also take this moment to thank all the force that goes behind putting this together, from our production team to the cameraman to the makeup artist. All of these are our strength that makes this possible. You perhaps only see me and that interaction that we have, but a whole host goes into making this possible. So let me thank all of them, and of course you, the viewer, thank you for your support, for helping me learn and grow through all these ages. And for one last time, it will be Stacy Pereira signing out from Moneycontrol. Let me also wish you all a very happy weekend.